everybody, how's it going? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing this video lesson. And today we're going to be looking at the song War Pigs by Black Sabbath. So we're going to be going over all of the parts, so you'll have all the parts so you can be able to put the whole song together. There's so many different riffs in the song, I'm just going to do a whole lesson on just on this. And this is by request, so if you have any suggestions or riffs that you'd like to learn or anything, leave them in the comments down below because I'm getting around to it. I'm cranking these requests out. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look. Alright, so for this intro, we're just going to start off. We've just got an E5 power chord, so I'm on the 7th fret of the A string with my first finger and the 9th fret of the D string with my third finger, and the low E string is open. Now this first part of the song is in a weird time signature, so it's kind of hard to count. It's in 12/8, but we've got so we hit this and it just rings out for the first measure, and then on the and of 4 at the end we hit it again, and then on the downbeat of the second measure we're just going to hit just that 7th fret of the A string note and slide to the 5th fret. So we've got okay, then we've got this like kind of a cool chord here. We gonna go to the 7th fret of the A string with your second finger and the 6th fret of the D string with your first finger, and then we're gonna play the open low E. So we hit that, hit it twice, and then do a hammer on with our second finger on the D string to the 7th fret. And then we slide this D5 back up to the E5, so it's like, or actually that repeats, my bad. So after we do the so that part repeats. I can't remember how many times it repeats, like 4 times. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to do each different section, and then you'll know, like, okay, this is the intro, this is the verse, this is that, and then you can just repeat it however many times it is on the song. So after we repeat that a couple of times, then starting on the 3rd measure, we have this D5, and we're going to hit that and slide to the E5. And then slide back. So D5 to slide to E, and then the E back to the D, repeats, and then that's where it leads us into the pre-verse verse riff itself. So for that, we're going to start at the D5, and we play that and move to E5, and then we rest. So like, and it just repeats. Generals gathered in their masses. So that's like the verse too. Now, after it goes through this part a few times, then we have this little riff. So we're on the G string, first finger's on the 2nd fret, 3rd finger's on the 4th fret, and we're going to pick the 4, pull to 2, pull to open. And then follow that with the 2nd fret of the D string, pull to open. And then right back into, so we've got okay, and then after it does that, so it keeps doing this, and then there's just like different fills. So that first one, whoops, and then the next time we're going to come down here to the 2nd fret of the D string, and we're going to play it open, and then do kind of a trill hammer pull off. Back to that D5 slide to G, or excuse me, slide to E. Then we're going to come all the way up here to the 12th fret on the B and the G string and hit that and slide out of it. All right, and then that leads us into the next part. So we start with the D5 to E, and we slide out of it, so it's like, and then we rest for beats 2 and 3, and then starting on beat 4, come up here and we got this G5 power chord, so 10th fret of the A string, 12th fret of the D string, and then we just move it down a half step again, and then finally to E, or that is E, so. And then we've got that same 12th fret of the G and B string. So. Now, there, he kind of does like what he did earlier. Like, he'll do different things, so you could... just like the riff that we did earlier. Okay, so it repeats that for a while, and then it goes into this other riff here, and this is one of my favorite ones from the song. So for beat 1, it's 16th notes of the open low E string palm muted, and then we're going to come up and we're going to play the 12th fret of the G, B, and high E strings. So we've got the, and we slide out of that, and then we've got the open low E, and then a 16th note rest again, and then the 3rd fret, and then that repeats, so it's like. Then it goes on to this next section here, and this is at measure 19. So we're still doing the pedaling of the open low E string to the 16th notes for beat 1. 1, E, and then starting on beat 2, we're going to go to the A string, first finger on the 5th fret, third finger on the 7th fret, and we're going to pick and pull. So it's that same delayed, with the little rests in between those open strings to kind of, give it that, to give it the flow that it has. And then, so that second time we do that pull off, then we're going to come down to the 2nd fret of the low E, and we're going to bend that up just a little bit, and then it repeats, so it's like. And then the second half of that, we have that, what we did before, back to the 3rd fret again. So it's just like the previous measure. So measure 18 and measure 20 are like the same thing. All right, so those are like all the parts for like the first, probably about half of the song. Because after it does that, it goes back into that again, and then it goes back into the. So it repeats all of those parts again. Okay, so the next section we're going to look at is the pre-solo section. So we're not actually going to go over the guitar solo itself, but this pre-solo section is actually kind of cool. So we're going to start off, we're at the 11th fret on the A string, and we're going to pick that and slide to 12, and then follow that with the open low E. And then back. So 11 slide to 12, open, 12 slide to 11, open, 11 slide to 7, open, 7 slide to 5, open, 5 slide to 7, twice, and then 7 slide to 5 again, open, 5 slide to 7, 7 slide to 11, open, 11 slide to 12, 12 slide back to 11, 11 back to 12, 12 to 14, and then that's where it would go into the solo from there. It's just kind of a cool riff that all right. So after the guitar solo section is all over, then it goes into this interlude section here, and this is one of my favorite parts of this song, one of my favorite riffs. So we've got this this chord here. It's a B over E thing here. So we've got 7th fret of the A string with your first finger, but you want to actually lay it down so you're barring the 7th fret of the A, D, and G string, and then use your 3rd finger to go onto the 9th fret of the D string, and then we're going to pick all this separately. So it's I'm going to do it in reference to strings. 5 4 5 3 5 4 5 3 4 3. Now that right there is done like a lot throughout this. So when we start off the first part of the interlude, it's that. Then we have the E5, fingers are already there, down to a B5 at the 2nd fret, 2nd and 4th frets still on the A and D string, to D5, 5th and 7th frets. So that's the first 2 measures. Then, starting on the 3rd measure, same thing as the first. E5 to G5, so we just move it up to 10 and 12, back to E5, and then that whole thing repeats. So it's Alright, so then starting on, is that measure 20, I think this is 28 or 29, but it's on this interlude section, it's the 2nd staff. So now we're going to just do that main riff again, but we repeat it, just... Now we're going to take that shape and just move it down a whole step. So now you're barring at the 5th fret, and your 3rd finger's on the 7th fret of the D string. Same picking pattern. Then we move it down a whole step again, so now we're barring the 3rd fret, 3rd finger's on the 5th fret of the D string. Same pattern. And then down a half step to B5, back to the C5, and then then that leads us into our outro riff. So that whole thing. Alright, so for this next riff, this outro riff, this is how I play it, because it just, for me, it makes it easier because I don't have to switch my hand position, but I have my second finger here on the 5th fret of the A string, and I'm going to hit the low E and the A string together, and then do a hammer onto the 7th fret with my pinky. Follow that with the open low E, and then to the 4th fret of the D string with my first finger. To the 5th fret, back to the 4th, and hammer to 5, back to 4. So. Then 4 to the 5th fret of the A string with your second finger, and then to the 7th fret with your 4th finger on the low E. Back to the 5th fret of the A string, and then just kind of repeats. So the second time through, so we go 4, 5, 7, back to the 4, to the 5th fret of the A string, back to the 7th fret of the low E, back to the 5th fret of the A string again, and then just repeat. So it's okay, so that part just keeps repeating, and that's what's being played behind the guitar solo, the outro guitar solo. And then after the outro guitar solo, it goes back into the riff again. But this time it's a little bit different. We're going to go down to D5, up to E5. So. Now, on the recording, it actually speeds up. It's like the tape speeds up. So just to end it, what I like to do is just do the... and just end the song like that. Alright, so there you have it. All of the riffs that you need to be able to play War Pigs by Black Sabbath. And again, this was by request from one of you guys. So if you have any ideas for future lessons or riffs that you'd like to learn, leave them in the comments down below. So if you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching and have a great day.